If you ever thought that being disciplined is for someone who was born with it, you're absolutely wrong. I used to think like that. Every time I try a new habit, I'll do it for a few days, a few weeks maybe a month. Actually, I don't remember that I've done something, well, I've stayed disciplined for more than a month, except going for the gym. Basically, every time I would start doing something and then I'd stop. I would slow down and then I just fall into the same trap as always. Procrastinate, scroll mindlessly, and do all the things but what I need to do. I was almost convinced that I just can't be disciplined, that I just wasn't that type of person. But then I followed one simple advice and everything changed. Literally everything changed. Not all at once, of course. Slowly, very slowly. And I'm still not perfect. But it definitely started to change. This video is exactly how you can do it too. I started my self-improvement journey maybe 3 years ago. I wanted to create a business. I wanted to get rich, fit, so I started going to the gym. I tried doing social media marketing. I searched for clients. I contacted them, pitched one of them. But then I got this job offer. And everything went the opposite direction. I accepted the offer because, well, I got to work in a football field, in a place where, when I was a kid, I dreamed of. I dreamed of being a footballer. Of course, that dream never came true. And then I got this opportunity of being a communication manager at a football club. So, of course, I took that opportunity. I moved to a different city, and that's where my old progress went just to shit. Except for one small habit. One small habit that literally saved me from just being inconsistent, undisciplined for eternity. The one advice that changed my life was aim low enough. Jordan Peterson said that. Aim low enough. Because when you start from the rock bottom, when you're that low, you have to start somewhere. And if you aim too high, you will just get frustrated. That's exactly what was happening to me every single time I tried to be disciplined. Every single time I would try some new habit. Every single time I fell into the same trap. Into the same trap of, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll skip today. I'm too tired today. So I needed one thing, one small thing, the smallest, that would just be too easy not to do it. Right now, when I think about it, it makes me it makes me cringe. But it was just as simple as making your bed every single morning. Because before that, I didn't even do that. Before this, it was even too hard to make my bed every single day. Before that, I would only make my bed on occasions when someone was coming to visit. And I needed some small change. I needed to do something consistently every single day so I would slowly regain trust with myself. So that's the habit that stuck to me. That's the habit that saved my life from being undisciplined forever. When I moved to a new city, when I accepted that job, I, I didn't know anyone. I was alone. It wasn't an unfamiliar city. I've been there before. I lived there before. But at that time, I didn't have any friends there. All my life was work, come back home, scroll my phone, sleep, and go back to work. And for a few months, I stuck to it. I did a good job at that work, but a few months in, I started to get complacent. That's where everything started to go down. At that time, I realized that I don't need to work that hard to get a job done and to get results. I didn't need to work hard. So I started to skip work days, basically, because I had that option. Because for the first few months, I worked so hard that they started to trust my work. They trusted that when I say I'm working from home, I'm doing the job that I need to do. They trusted me. So when I was too lazy to go to work, to go to the office, I would stay at home, work from there. But the truth was, I wasn't even working at those times. I was either playing video games or I was scrolling, watching TikToks. But still, I would do the work that needed to be done. I would post on social media for that job. I would get the job done when it needed to be done. But I didn't do any progress. And one day a week of staying home became 2 days a week, then 3 days a week staying home. And then I would barely show up. I felt ashamed of not showing up, of not doing a good job as I used to do. I would always say, okay, I will get back to being disciplined on Monday. Then Monday would come and it's the same. And I've always told myself that I'm lazy, undisciplined, but it wasn't like that at all. Because now when I think about it, I was always disciplined. Making my day every single day is a discipline. And for it to become easy to me, it didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen like that. I didn't just woke up and said, I will do this every day and it would be easy for me. For the first few weeks, I would have to fight the urge to get up and make that bed. It wasn't easy, even if it sounds like it. But that's where discipline begins, on small little things. And those small little things grow because you do. Once the smallest thing becomes easy to you, you add another. For me, it was push ups every day. I would wake up, make my bed, do push ups. You progress from there. And it's not easy. People would say that you just force yourself, that there are no hacks. Just force yourself to do what needs to be done. You just start. And when you don't want to do it, you do it. I don't even know what that means. Force yourself to do it. I can't force myself. If I don't want to do something, I just won't do it. I would find a different thing to do just to procrastinate. If I don't want to clean my room, but I know that I need to clean my room, I would watch TikToks for a few other hours and only then I would clean. Or don't don't. I don't know. Sometimes it happens. That's how it was for me. And that's how it still is sometimes. And that's okay. Because every day I try to be better. Because I wanted to change so badly that I didn't feel like I have another choice but to find a way to make this easier. So there were two things that made it easy for me. One thing I would stack the discipline on top of other disciplines that I needed or did already. For example, just after brushing my teeth, I do a push up. Or just after I made my bed, I do a push up. That's how I would stack the disciplines. Another thing that really helped me was marking my calendar. I remember I bought a whiteboard. I would literally mark days and cross them, the ones where I was disciplined, and the ones where I wasn't, I would mark a different color. That's how I stayed accountable, and it really helped actually. But the most important thing that made me do what I needed to do and not procrastinate, not wait for another day, was counting. So let's say you need to do something, but it's not on your mind always. Like you're not thinking about it 24/7. And let's say you procrastinate. Let's say you watch this YouTube video, and while you're watching, you suddenly remember that you need to do something. For example, you're also a content creator and you need to make a video for your YouTube channel or whatever. But you want to finish this video and maybe you want to watch another video before that, but you need to post. What I would do, I would count to 3 and I would drop everything suddenly just drop everything. You see, we all built a pattern of avoiding the thing that we need to do. That's just a pattern you created. That's a pattern everyone creates. When you know you need to do something, you procrastinate instead of doing it. Because you procrastinate to avoid the feeling you don't want to feel. So you need to break that cycle. You need to break that pattern. How we do it is by sudden impact. You remember you need to do something. You don't want to do it, you need to do. While you usually would just continue watching the video and continue scrolling and doing whatever you was doing to procrastinate, instead of doing that, just remember to count to 3 in your head. Just 1, 2, 3. And then you just drop everything. Just drop it. And then just go and do it. I know it sounds easy. I know it sounds simple. And it is simple, but it's not easy. And it takes practice. And you're not gonna get it every time. You're not gonna remember the first few times to count it. It didn't happen to me. So chances are you will need a lot of time to get used to it. But just start to count. Do one small thing to break the cycle of procrastination after you get the feeling that you need to do something. That's how we break the cycle. That's how we break the pattern. Over time, it gets easier. I promise you. You know, those small disciplines that I was talking about, they aren't about making your bed. They aren't about it. It's about you proving yourself that you can do something every single day, that you can show up. Once you get the feeling that you can do something as simple as that for a longer period of time, for the period of time you haven't done before, you will get more confident in yourself. You will get more belief in yourself that you can do something harder. Once you master the small thing, you start doing something harder. I didn't do anything harder than making my bed until I was sure that I can do it every single day for the rest of my life. Actually, the fun thing is that I don't make my bed anymore. I developed lots other disciplines that are much harder than that, so I don't feel the need that I need to make my bed every day. I've already proved myself that I can do something hard every day. You know, once you start building that discipline, once you get disciplined at one thing, the momentum will build and it will get easier to continue doing it. But it's a long time. It takes a long time. You have to make sure that you're not moving too quick. Start small. Here's how you get disciplined. Firstly, you choose the smallest habit you can do every single day. You start doing it. Once you've done it for long enough, and I'm not talking about a week. I'm talking about months, a few months even. It took me a long time until I started stacking up disciplines. Stick to something for a few weeks and then add another discipline. It doesn't matter what kind of disciplines those are. It just has to be easy enough for you. Once you start stacking disciplines, remember to break the pattern. Remember to break the pattern of procrastination, of not doing the thing when you want to do, when you need to do. And how you break it, you count to three, right? You will remember that. Scrolling on your phone, you remember that you need to clean your house, for example. You count one, two, three. You close everything. You drop your phone, throw it into the trash. Shouldn't do that probably, but you get the idea. And you just go and do the thing. That's how you break the pattern. Once you've done that enough times, it will get easier. I promise you. And lastly, track your progress.